Hey, what's up everyone, Thunderbob here, and I'm playing a bit more Diablo 2 Resurrected tonight. This is Necromancer, Summon Necromancer, that was requested by a viewer, and this is a Necromancer that primarily focuses on the summoning tree. Specifically, this is one based around Race Skeleton. The major points here are 20 in Race Skeleton, 20 in Skeleton Mastery, and 20 in Corpse Explosion is really useful as well. At least 1 in amp damage, you don't really need to max it. Getting down to Decrepify is nice for bosses. Slowing them down, taking them out of the fight. You can do 1 point in Bone Armor just for some extra absorb. And then kind of 1 point all over the place here, usually all the way down to Revive. This will give you, a bunch of extra summons. I maxed Race Skeleton Mage, though this really isn't that useful. They're kind of weak in hell difficulty, but I just want to have a huge army. 1 point in Summon Resist Golem Mastery, and your Golem of choice. I'm going with Clay Golem to slow down bosses even further, and yeah, we're going to see how this goes. And I did already get a little skeleton army going, just so that I'm not wasting too long building up my force. I'm going to do Andariel and do it in like player 1, and then after I beat her, I'm going to switch to player 8. One of the things is the gear. This is a kind of an interesting build. So on this side I've got Lyric and Spirit. There's better offhands, but I did have to put this character together from gear I had just laying around. So this isn't necessarily the best offhand. But the switch is for Beast. So you get your army built up, summoning the highest level skeletons you can with Lyric. And then you switch to Beast for Fanaticism, and that gives you considerably more damage on your skeletons. From there I've got +2 Helmet, Mara's Enigma for the teleport, Arrow Walk. I've got this. I'm switching out for an SOJ at times, but I've got this for the Heart of the Wolverine. It's just some extra damage. Directed Mesh, SOJ, Triangles, and on the mercenary, Pride for concentration primarily. Standard from there, but I've also got an Infinity. This build is going more for physical damage. That's why I'm trying out Pride, and that was what was requested. The only thing I don't have this mercenary is a Blessed Aim mercenary. This character was already put together, and I kind of just swapped some stuff around. I don't have the time to go and level up a whole nother mercenary, so that's the only thing I'm missing from what was requested. But I think this is pretty effective as is. Let's see, this character uses a whole lot of shortcuts, so let's see if I can remember them all. And the basics are you just can kind of teleport onto the monsters and just watch them instantly die. It's great. I don't even need to throw up amp damage in player 1, they just die so quickly. And I had a Skelemancer back in Diablo 2, though it wasn't based around the skeleton themselves as much. But this is definitely a really cool build. Like, the amount of damage that your skeletons are putting out is pretty extreme. The only bad thing about Pride is it does have that freeze enemy on it, so like you do lose some of your summons. Some of your potential summons, I should say. You could even throw some revives in here, though it's not really necessary. This is a pretty mana-intensive build. You know what I forgot to cast? Let's just throw up for a little bit more damage. Keep right-clicking on my portraits. There's so many portraits. And I'm really not going to even bust out Corpse Explosion yet. It's kind of pointless with how fast things are dying. In 8-player, I think I'll probably need to do that, though. And just to show you, look how many summons are on the screen, and I'm still getting above 100 frames per second. I think most of the time my FPS issues are primarily due to fire, the proc from the Hellfire Charm. Like, just the models on the screen, I think, don't really cause that much of an issue. It's mostly the spell effects and the lighting in particular. And what I've been doing, basically, is just, at this point, checking out builds that people recommend. I've gone through most of the builds I had back in the day. There might be a few outliers I haven't tried, but I'd say 90% of the characters I used to have I've played through at this point. And I'm kind of just taking, you know, people's requests for stuff they want to see. So if there's any particular builds that I haven't demonstrated, or any kind of cool, you know, unique builds, let me know. I'll be happy to check them out. It may take me a little while to get the gear together, to put it all together, and I like to do a little bit of research to find out kind of like how they play. So sometimes it takes me a little while to get a video together. I've also been dealing with some stuff in my personal life, so my playtime has been a little bit lower as of late. So I've got a list going. So if you ask for something, it might just be, you know, a week or two. And if I forget about you, just leave me another comment, and I will try to jump back to it. But I'm working through a list right now. I love just teleporting onto the enemies and just watching everything get murdered. I could actually even throw on bear form probably and do a little bit of damage. Once you get some corpses, you can just burn through corpse explosion, and just everything dies. So that was pretty dang easy. Not sure if that's the quickest, but it was pretty fast. What we're gonna try now, if I could find my home row, bump it up to players 8.
Greetings.
Just grab some potions. And we'll go somewhere, let's see. Canyon's got a lot of enemies. And then we'll go do some tombs. I'm just waiting for the first thing to die. And then your corpse explosion. Corpse explosion definitely makes a pretty big difference in player 8. And my skeletons are pretty tough. They're not dying too frequently. Okay, I'm just gonna make my way into a tomb. And this thing keeps dying. It sucks because it's got such a low health. When you're teleporting on top of guys, they don't last terribly long. Let's go in a tomb here and just see what we can get into. One good thing is I've been dealing with my parents. I'm the executor of their estate, kind of dealing with the aftermath of that, and we actually accepted an offer on my parents' house yesterday, and it'll be sold by the end of the month, and that'll be kind of one thing off my plate. It's been just a difficult thing to deal with. These guys have a lot of health, which kind of sucks. Losing a bit of my army here. Oh, it's because there's like 3 named guys in here. There we go. I keep screwing up my hotkeys. I got so many. I got Corpse Explosion, Amp Damage, Skeleton, Skeleton Mage, Teleport, Revive, and my Golem. I should probably have Decrepify on here too, but I really just use it for bosses. It's definitely a little bit slower in Player 8. Like, there's some ways you could probably optimize this, and there's definitely areas I feel like it excels at. These high health guys are not the best enemies for this. And if you got some like low health guys, you can burn them down and then use your Corpse Explosion to better effect. I love just like teleporting on him and just, alright, murder that guy. Part of the problem is that pride weapon ends up eating a lot of my corpses, which gives me fewer Corpse Explosion. Oh, I'm completely full on gold. I'm like, why am I not picking up any gold? Yeah, this like rips through Player 1. I feel like it's a little slower in Player 8. Like, it's safe. You can kind of just stand here, but is not maybe as quick as some of the quickest builds I played. Although I don't have completely optimized gear, there's a few items that I could get that would probably help a little bit.
I am overburdened.
The overall, I like the build. I like Just the crazy amount of summons that you have. And again, performance is actually pretty great, even though I've got a million dudes on the screen. I don't think it's the models that really hurt performance. I think there's specific spells that really still need to be optimized. I'm sure in time that's going to happen. I used to know there were specific guys that were good to revive, and I can't remember which ones they are now. Like the ghost guys, they can kind of just like float through the area are nice. I'm just trying to get as big of an army as I can at this point. Yeah, that mercenary, I might have to switch out to infinity. Well, the concentration's nice. He ends up getting the killing blow such a high percentage of the time. I can't really use corpse explosion. If I could do cows, that would be great, because corpse explosion would just murder everything. Well, I think I might end it here. I just want to spend a couple minutes going through the Summon Necromancer. This is a character that I had kind of overlooked, and I had a couple of requests to check it out. And I think this is a great first character if you're looking for something that has a lot of survivability and doesn't require a lot of gear. It's really good. How'd I lose all my skeletons? Didn't I just have, like... That was weird. I'll have to watch the video. Did they just die on me? Well, I'm gonna end it here so I don't have to rebuild my army, but yeah, if you like this video, I've got a ton of other videos all on different Diablo 2 characters and builds and a couple of new character guides, and yeah. I've also got a bunch of VR content. I've got a bunch of you know, non-VR, new games, retro games, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, check it out, and if you like it, think about subscribing. I would definitely appreciate it. So thanks again for watching. Have a good night, everyone.